Hello, in this C programming video, I am going to show you functions with the return statement. So right now we've always used this void, keyword, and this is the return type. So what we are going to do is change this to something that's not void. If void, it means it doesn't return anything or doesn't require the function to return anything. Let's say I put int, this requires it to return an integer. I don't know what's going to happen if I run it in VS Code, because I know in some editors it will moan, it will give you something. So this one doesn't really matter, but I know some editors will say that, okay, you haven't put a return statement. So what we're going to do, instead of printing f, because maybe you want to add the numbers, but you might in one instance want to print them, in another instance, use that as part of a bigger calculation, you can do that. Instead of always printing them out, you can just put return num1 plus num2, and you can return whatever you want. It doesn't have to be in relation to the parameters you passed in. Also, you can have a function with a return statement that doesn't take any parameters in. That's possible. It might do some other calculations based on global variables, or if it's linked into some files, external files, for example, it could do that. It might just be like load save file, and there might only be one save file. It might be called save1.sav, for example. Okay, so this will return this. As long as this equates to an integer, we are all good. And you don't want to try and return, some other data type, because you might get an error, you might just get, data that gets lost, or, just totally incorrect. So just bear that in mind. And again, you could do some calculation, put this into another variable called total, for example, or sum, and then put it into here. And then you just put like return total or return sum. Okay, so if we run this, what happens? Nothing happens, because doing this right now is passing in 8 and 5 and it's returning 13. But because we're not doing anything, it's the equivalent of literally like writing 13, like so. That doesn't mean anything. It's technically valid code, but we're not doing anything with it. So let's create a variable. Let's call it int sum equals the adder. Right now, we're still not doing anything. But if I put printf and I put, returned value is %i \n, and I put I, if I save and run that now, we'll get the value of return value is 8. That sounds a bit strange. Oh no, I'll put I instead of sum. I was like, is nothing getting added? There you go. Return value is 13. So that's it. That's the return statement. It allows you to return data, and instead of, fixing a particular function, instead of having, let's say, 5 adders, one that printed, one that, put the value into a database, one that stored it in an external file, one that maybe emailed it, and one that, I'm trying to think of another use case, uploaded it online. You could just get the data and then do with it as you please. And this is a very common use case for functions. And that's it. That's return statements. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord group and post in the programming channels. Link in the description, along with the GitHub page where you got all the source code. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.